Hi, I'm Trisha at Club Scrap, and I'm here to give you a quick tour of some of the cards that I made with the lovely Cabana stamp sheet. I store mine in one of these hubless DVD cases, so it's just easy to index them and at a glance see what month and year, and then the name of the kit, and then it's the stamps inside. So that's how I store mine, in like a DVD rack. Here are some of the cards. This one is made with that really cool palapa image. I just double nested the sentiment, and I'll be honest here, I stamped the sentiment on the actual card, but it was a little crooked and I wasn't happy with it. So my solution was to stamp again on white and then turn it into kind of an embellishment. And then I stretched the ribbon around the bottom edge of the card and then tied it with the second piece of the jute. That's included in, I believe this is in the card kit. I love this twill ribbon too. And then on the layering here, I like to vary the width of the reveal. So here, this is just a 1/16 of an inch reveal. So in other words, the panel is an 1/8 of an inch larger than the white panel. I've got the swirl print from the page kit here, again nested in white to add a little contrast, and then on the light blue card base. Oh, I had so much fun with this one. I stamped the hat onto the panel, but then I thought, man, some dimension would be fun and maybe adding some more color. So I stamped the hat again on light blue, stamped it again on yellow with our ocean ink, trimmed out this section from the yellow, this section from the blue, added it to the card with our foam adhesive circles right on top of the original stamped image, then finish it off with hats off to you. So adorable. I think inside I have the congrats stamped in black and then this stamped in ocean. I basically stuck with black, ocean, and yellow when I was stamping this. So this card was a little bit more labor intensive than I like, but I wanted to give my new die cut a try. This is the original die. I cut it in white, yellow, dark blue, and light blue, and then just sort of picked out all the different layers and nested them together. We did put this roll, gigantic roll of double-sided tape in our Amazon affiliate store, and I trimmed off a length that was a little bit larger than this. So once I got my pieces die cut, I started by putting the white frame onto the sticky side of this piece, and then I just added everything else into the missing holes and then trimmed the edges. It worked pretty well. So this is a really sweet card. I probably won't make it again. This card was super easy and quick. When we receive our stamps, I run a test of each image, and this was just one of my tests. Turned out so well, I decided to crop and mat it, and then added it to a card. And it's just a simple strip of the print that had been left over from a previous project gave me a nice foundation on which to set the sentiment, and then I lined up the sentiment with the right edge of the card. I don't normally do that, but I really liked the look. This card involved quite a bit of math, and I used my ruler here. This white piece measures 5 1/4 by 4, and the yellow piece measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So I got my calculator and I divided. I kind of wrote down what I wanted for my margins. So in a nutshell, I have 3 pieces of print that measure 1 3/8 by 3 3/8, and then the light blue panel measures 1 1/2 by 3 1/2. So the reveal here is actually like 3/16 of an inch just around the outside edges, and then 1/8 of an inch in between. How to like all that math right there, but some of you might want to know. And then I made several loops of the jute and just taped it down in the center here to hold it in place while I added the Life is Good sentiment, stamped in black ink and matted with a narrow mat, and then added with foam adhesive. This was quick and easy as well. I took the light blue panel and I just stamped the image repeatedly. I used a block with a grid on it, and also my desktop blotter that has a grid just to kind of keep everything nice and level. I think it turned out really nice. I stamped the flip-flop image in black ink and then fussy cut them, even to the point of a craft knife to get that little area out from the middle. I don't know if that was necessary, but I think this turned out really cute. This was another image from my test batch of panels that I just kept after I made sure the images were going to be perfect and improve them for production. After stamping it, I realized I just wanted to work with a circle. So I grabbed some of my circle dies and I found that these 3 nest. So this was a stitched edge, then just a plain edge, and another stitched edge. Looked pretty great. It was a larger image though, and so I went with a larger card. This is an A6, so it measures 4 1/2 by 6 1/4 on the base, folded base. And again, I used the printed panel here from the yellow print in the kit, so sweet. This was from the page kit rather, from the Cabana collection. And then a white which just gives me a nice white space. Very, very simple. And to make it fit beautifully and also make it look nice, I just trimmed off an edge of the circles and then added it to a white panel, so to sort of just make it look all continuous. Probably one of my favorites here is a kaleidoscope style process where I took, let's see, this image from the sheet and I lined this up so that the tip was at the center of my panel, and I stamped it, I believe it's 8 times all the way around to get this really nice kaleidoscope type image. And I stamped that in the yellow ink and then came back in with So Happy to Celebrate You, which is probably my favorite image from the sheet. Here we have the print. Once again, that's the first piece of the print that I used, and I just kept using the rest of it in my fun. And then wrapped this with the organza and then tied the cotton ribbon around the organza. I think that's a really nice combo right there. Then on the inside, I've got the Rest, Relax, Repeat stamped in black with the flip-flops in ocean. Again, black, ocean, yellow. Those are the 3 colors I grabbed. I just kept them handy. They coordinated so well. That's all I really went with. So I hope you're inspired to maybe replicate or at least grab your stamps and make a few adorable Cabana cards. I'm sure these won't last long in my stash. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for checking it out.